What's going on, world? It's the NRW where nerds rule the world. Back for another KayFabeyBaby NRW Ring Generals Podcast. I'm Kuya P, and I'm joined by my trios champions. We got them all together this week. He was enjoying his downtime because it was his birthday.
Hey.
Mr. Sean Mongold, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, sir. Great to have you back, as always.
Thank
you. Of course, my man with the bow tie, Mr. Webster Style. How are you, gentlemen?
I'm good.
How was your birthday, Sean?
Oh, it was good. Man, I had a great old time. You know, it was nice, relaxing. Went to some camping. Went and saw the Beetlejuice movie. Went to Ren Fair. Had a cookout. Had a game night, like a board game night with a bunch of friends. Haven't seen in a while, so it was good.
Quick question: did you guys go to the spot near Shenandoah?
I have no idea. It was far as fuck. It was somewhere deep in fucking Virginia.
Okay, because I think when I saw the picture, I'm like, oh, I think that's the same spot we went to a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's like the little getaway homes, which are nice. You know, they're nice. We had a little kerfuffle with our key code to get in our door, and we got in late, so we were a little annoyed, but it's all good.
Cool. Well, I'm happy you had fun, man. My apologies. I don't know if Webster's not made it, but we couldn't make it. But yeah, your lovely Maki, seeing her planet all up. I appreciate the invite, but you know, we send our love, brother. We got you.
Yeah.
We'll celebrate some other time with us, the squad here. But man, we celebrate you, man. Happy birthday to you, brother.
Thank you.
Great to see all the pics and stuff, and see y'all had a good time, man. And you mixed it up. But while you were out, we had a lot of wrestling.
Yeah, buddy. That's the truth.
I know you were busy doing your thing. We held it down. So what are your vibes, man? Are you feeling as good as these two gentlemen right here with the summer and what went down in recent weeks of wrestling? We'll cover All Out, but we had Bash in Berlin, we had NXT No Mercy, we had a lot of stuff popping off since we last talked. So just what are your vibes, so that way we can kind of pattern things out before we get to All Out?
Let's see. All In, I don't know if I got to talk about All In, but yeah, Ricochet coming back, that was interesting. You know, it's like they're trying
to like him in AEW, or you?
I like, he came out and then he like defended Will Ospreay, and like now, like as of last week at Dynamite, he was in his face. I was just like, are y'all friends or not? Like, you came to his rescue, now you're in his face, now you're talking shit. Like, pick a direction. That's all I'm saying. You know, if you do the friendly rivalry thing, stick to the friendly rivalry thing. If you want to do Ricochet is going to be a heel and talk shit because you want Ospreay to obviously remain a face, then just make the decision. Don't do this weird, you know, one day I'm going to protect you, and then the next day, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like some of the segments backstage just end awkwardly. I don't know.
He's still not a talker, man. He's not.
Yeah. And you can just tell when people like put on airs. You know what I mean? Like they spit shine themselves up a little bit. And you can definitely tell with him. But like, yeah, I mean, you know, let him be heel. You know, let him try that out, since he never really got that opportunity, and maybe that's what he needs. You know, like. And maybe that will make him feel more comfortable. Because in my opinion, it's easier to get heat as a heel, obviously, than to get over as a babyface. It's really hard, you know. You have to really know how to talk to get over as a babyface.
Yeah.
And he does not have that, unfortunately. So I think, you know, let him be a heel, and let him see what he can do. Like, go full heel against Will Ospreay. You know, you have a history. Let's go. Other than that, you know, before All Out, the Pete Dunne fucking mixtape diss track was fucking hilarious. That that Trick put out. That shit
I was surprised at that. I'm like, okay.
I had no idea what he was saying. I was just like, what? I had to like watch that shit like 2 times, and then like random Nikita's in it with like some nunchuck. I'm like, what? Like,
I missed all that. I gotta check.
You missed it? You missed the diss track?
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that.
God, he made a
find that.
He made a whole diss track against Pete Dunne.
Interesting.
He was like, you just a butch.
Because the whole Butch thing, don't call him Butch.
Yeah. Like, instead of calling him a bitch, It was you butch.
Oh, I got you. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So that was really fun.
Bash in Berlin. Let me just throw some stuff at you. Bash in Berlin. Favorite moment or anything from there from Bash in Berlin.
Obviously the CM Punk win. Like, logically, the four corners thing and like the double tap that he was doing when he was getting carried around. Like, I understand that people were mad about that, but that was just such a great match. It was just a grueling match, and I loved it. I do not like how they continued it. The following Raw, it was just like, oh, it's not over. We're continuing it, and like, break the bracelet. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
and apparently available in the WWE.
Yes, shop. I saw that. I saw that.
Really?
Yes.
They're probably charging like $25 for that stupid shit. But yeah, no. But yeah, obviously the CM Punk thing, it was cool to see the Terror Twins in action, obviously. And Rhea get the win over Liv. So those are fun. I mean, the Randy and Gunther match. I mean, like I'm always torn, man, between Owen Gunther. Like I really am. I know he's a great technical wrestler, and I know he's great in the ring, but he's just a charisma vacuum, dog. Like he just his promos are just not good. Like they're always the same. Like, you're a bum, you're street trash. Your dad was a bum, you're a bum, you're street trash, you're street trash. These people are street trash. I'm just like I understand, like that's the heel thing, right? But it's just like if you're world champion, it should be better.
Yeah.
And just the chopping, it's the the murder grandpa effect. I don't it's a commodity every once in a while, but like if that's the only thing that you do, I get bored very easily, so but yeah, no, Randy looked like he had fun, so it was still a fun match. But yeah, those are my moments from Bash Berlin.
NXT No Mercy.
So I didn't actually watch NXT No Mercy, so I don't really know what went down. I remember I heard the mixtape come out, I saw it on the socials, and I was like, I have to watch this dumb shit. And it was dumb.
Go, Ethan Page is still our champ, man, over there.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah.
Who do you think's gonna fucking get over on Ethan? Like, who are they building up, do you think, to take over from Ethan? Yeah, from Ethan.
I don't know. I was
by
hoping
proxy, Roxanne,
with the whole Joe Hendry thing coming over and this whole NXT mix up. I'm kind of excited about, as of this recording. We had Oba. Oba beat the Don at No Mercy. But there's from this recent NXT, I didn't watch it all, so I caught a little bit on the socials. I don't know if you peeped this. I know you're probably going to be big on this, Eldon. The Moose might be coming to now go.
Yeah,
against,
I saw that.
Against Oba.
Yeah, did you see the video?
I did not, but I feel
Patrick,
like
did you see the video?
Oh, did I see the Don? I saw bits and pieces, like stills.
Okay.
Of the shadow. That's a big man in behind that glass.
People talk about it was basically, Sean, let me set the tone for you. So there's this Twitter account called NXT Confidential, something like that, where they've leaked quote unquote backstage video, and the latest one is the Don paying off some large imposing figure that's behind glass to take care of Oba. Now, some people were talking about this Omos, but if you look at the sizes, there's no way that person could be Omos. That person, while they're large and imposing, too short compared to the Don. So a lot of people are speculating it might be Moose.
So that'll be
okay. That would, and you know what? We fucking called that match.
He called that match.
Yeah. No. I mean, when we were talking about the early TNA coming over to NXT and like what we could possibly looking forward to, we literally called Moose versus Oba.
Yeah.
Because of just the size, like that's been the big thing, is just Oba has the size over so many people in NXT. Like who could realistically look like a challenge? And we were like, yo, Moose. Like that would be dope. So yeah, like we like that is, I would definitely watch that fucking match. Like I need to, if that happened, if that's the way they're going. And I mean, it's Tuesday as we're recording this, so NXT is coming up, so we might figure that out. Possibly
There'd
in
be
the next
some
couple hours.
shenanigans happening.
Yeah.
I just love the relationship between NXT and Impact. There's a lot of things happening, man. As of this recording, not Bianca, but Jade was talking about how there's some SmackDown people going in NXT. We've been seeing a lot of synergy with all of them all, but I think
Yeah.
what's really
Street
going to be very
Profits are-
interesting was with SmackDown heading over to USA,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and all these different shifts and NXT being pushed now to
CW.
CW.
And Raw is going to be 2 hours
It's
now.
going to be very interesting, this mix,
What?
and then of the eventual Netflix deal, right? So
Oh.
I think
Oh, you
Raw's
missed that, Sean?
Raw's
there's
not
going to be
going to
some
two, is
shifting.
it?
Yeah, it's going to 2 hours for the remainder of the year while it's on USA.
What?
Yep.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
I heard rumors of SmackDown possibly going to 3, but I didn't hear any rumors of
Well,
Raw
it's
going to 2.
not a rumor, it's confirmed.
Really?
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Oh.
Going to be very interesting what they're going to do with all this shuffling
I
around
feel
and
like-
mixing in stars that they got.
I feel like they would have mentioned that on commentary, wouldn't they? On
No, the announcement, I think
Raw
I
last
just saw
night?
everybody talking about it yesterday. So this literally just happened. It starts in October.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
I just want some more women's wrestling. Can we do that?
Yeah, when we're gonna
Yeah,
get
like,
Raw
now we're
Raws.
Now we're gonna get
Especially
less.
now we're building out the Avengers over at NXT with all the amazing women wrestlers that they're getting right
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah. Oh, real quick. How do y'all feel like so I remember one thing that popped out. How do y'all feel like what are y'all feelings on Jade?
on Jade,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Jade.
I mean, this is the thing, okay? I don't think she's doing horribly, but she's not standing alone. And with that, it doesn't really give us a chance to see her and everything she can do by herself.
Yeah.
Which is fine considering you put her in there, you're getting her over, you're getting her reps. Essentially, they're training her without putting her in NXT by doing what they're doing. And I have no issues with that. And when they pull the trigger, is going to be something to see.
So
Yeah, that's my vibe. Because have her team with. I'm enjoying this teaming with Bianca to build her up, and then we'll do something.
what I'm seeing, and this started at Bash at Berlin. I don't know if obviously y'all caught that match, but they're always structured the same. Bianca starts, Bianca wrestles for like 10 good solid minutes. Then Jade gets in, does some cool spots, gets knocked out of the ring, tags Bianca. Bianca does more work. There's like a close pinfall, and Jade's supposed to like interfere. And like there was a point in Bash Berlin where Jade kind of missed the point. Like it looked like she was going to pull Bianca's braid to pull her off out of the pin or out of the way of like some kind of top rope move. And I don't know, she missed it. But like they try to play like, oh, Jade distracted her, but like it was like she was already in the air as Jade was trying to get in the ring. So it was just like it was a little like slip up. I was like, okay, whatever, cool. And like they came back and they gave her a reprise in Monday Night Raw last night because they had another match with Unholy Union again.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
And also like I can't remember which one it is, the one with the red hair.
Isla Dawn.
Fire.
I'll fire and Dawn.
I don't remember which one it is.
Yeah,
It was the
I
one with the red
remember
hair.
that.
She, the technical skills is like a little lacking. So whenever it's her and Jade together, there's always missteps. You can see them like stumble a little bit and try to do setups and like waiting for the setup and kind of like fumbling into it a little bit. And I think it's just both of them. I don't know if it's the chemistry. I don't know if like, neither one of them are like, exceptional at wrestling, but the other one, the dark-haired one, is amazing. Like her and Bianca go at it, and it is just flawless and seamless every single time. And like even on the commentary on Raw last night, they made a comment when Bianca was like fighting, and I think it was Wade was just like, "Man, Bianca's about to win this on her own," and I don't know if that's like, I don't know if that was just him talking. I don't know if that's to set up something or what. But yeah, it was a little interesting. So I was just curious on y'all's take if y'all's like peeped anything specific about Jade lately.
Not yet,
not really.
but I will say this and show y'all this fresh from the WWE shop. I'm all in on our gals.
Oh yeah.
The big three.
Yeah, we got the plaque. We got the plaque joint.
Bruh. Spend some money on this piece. But I had to have all three. So
oh yeah. I love me some Naomi. I hope they, I hope Naomi's going somewhere.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, they got to stop playing around with her. They got to stop playing around with her.
Yeah, for real.
But man, let them, work it out. Let them work it out for X amount of months, however they need to. And then obviously they're going to do Bianca versus Jade. That's a titanic match that we all know and want to see.
And Jade has to go over.
And we know they want it, so eventually. But there's just so much what they can do. And there's a lot of, players in the game, if you will. There's a lot of, things that they can do right now. So I'm curious to see where it goes. But we've got All Out, man. Yeah. A lot of stuff went down with All Out. A lot of people were calling it like pay-per-view of the year. Different people I saw on the Twitters, socials. I didn't personally catch it. I caught, aftermaths of it. But I'm curious y'all's thoughts. Favorite match, stuff that just, did they go too far? Your thoughts, man. Well, let me go through the list real quick and see how y'all feel. Let's kick it off. We had the Acclaim defeating the Iron Savages in a tag team match that happened before. Actually, there's a couple matches. I'll give you all the matches that happened before the event. Acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster versus the Iron Savages, Bronson and Boulder, beating them prior to. We had Hologram, Sammy Guevara, and Dustin Rhodes defeating the Premier Athletes in a trios match. We had Bang Bang Gang defeating the Dark Order. And we had the Undisputed Kingdom defeating the Beast Mortos, Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty, and Action Andretti from Top Flight. It was a three-way trios. Excuse me. It was all those cats. Undisputed Kingdom, Beast Mortos, and Action Andretti and Top Flight. What did you think of the prelim matches? Did that strike a bell with you?
Let me tell you, it sounds like they just threw some shit together, like straight up.
That's what I'm thinking. Looking at all that, that's like, okay.
Because we didn't cover that, and I didn't see it, but
we didn't have that before we got with our picks, man. So I'm like, okay.
Right. But here that I'm like, there's like, yo, Tony was like, let's just throw some shit together for the free show and call it a day. Like literally, that's what that sounds like.
Yeah. My thing is,
anybody deserves
what
better.
AEW does. This is what AEW does, right? Like this is, even trying to look like before this, I was like, "Ooh, I wonder what's on Dynamite tomorrow." Like maybe we can talk about what's going to be happening on Dynamite tomorrow too. There's like nothing announced. It's like 24 hours away, and there's like no announcement for any matches. Like, how do you sell tickets? That's why you're not
like our
tickets.
damn event
like
that we went to
announcing,
and we got screwed on Mercedes.
Yeah, the first, yeah. Yeah, we got our eventual come around though, and got to see her,
man.
So
but we did get the full fix though, because money wise, as you saw, New Japan, even though it was a pay-per-view event, they don't got the budget, so like,
no, I see it, man, and man, all those are thrown together like Top Flight. I don't even know, they like have Top Flight like in like these like pilot outfits. Now
I've been meaning to ask y'all, what do you think about it? I do like Layla Gray though.
That's the only thing I care about.
Outfit.
I forgot who that was, dog. I was like,
give me Layla Gray all day, every day, sir.
I don't get it. I don't get it. And like AEW books themselves into this weird corner where they literally make these good technical groups like jokes, and I don't get it. Like, how do you do that with as much skill as all three of them fucking have? How do you fuck that up?
Yeah.
How? There are ways to do it. There are ways to put them in a position to make them look amazing and for the crowd to be fucking ecstatic about them. There's a way to book that, and you're missing the mark. You're making them a fucking joke now. The fucking Action Andretti like fucking guzzling water. Like, what? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, I don't like it. It's like, I don't know. It's literally like throwing shit at a wall and being like, yeah, you're gonna do this today. What?
I'm just waiting for the eventual leading of Ricochet and all of those guys. Let's put all our flippy floppy guys together and see what they can do.
Yeah.
Eventually it's going to happen. You know it. You know it.
My wife has a name for them. I'm not going to say it, but
oh, I can guess on that one.
I'll tell you off the air. but yeah, no, it's 0 hours. There was nothing of consequence. Like there was nothing of actual importance there. Yeah, because like they also have like Sammy with Dustin and
why do they have the hologram titles?
And they have the trios. Yeah, they have the trios ROH.
It's so strange.
Titles. I'm like, what? This is so random and stupid.
Yeah, I've never understood that team up. I've seen that on the socials. I'm like, what? Okay. The connection is Texas. That's what we're going with. They're Texas guys.
Is that a hologram from Texas?
I'm assuming. You know, he's probably Latino.
Yeah, he is. He's one of the CML wrestlers they signed.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's Texas connection or something. So let's get into the main card. We had MJF defeating Daniel Garcia. I think we picked Daniel Garcia, I think Eldon on this one, but not surprised that MJF wins. But we didn't need to put the one maneuver real quickly to close it out.
Which one?
The one that Ospreay does. I didn't see the event, but I think after the pinfall, even though he lost, Daniel Garcia did the maneuver Ospreay will never do.
Tiger Driver.
Yes. I think that happened. Did you watch the event?
Yeah.
You did, Sean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a good match.
Okay.
That was really good. Like it really got Danny Garcia over. Like there was a couple like really, really close calls. Of course, MJF cheated and hit him with a low blow to win. Heel shit makes sense. And some people had it right. Like All In was kind of like the fairy tale, the Pixar movie of all these, like, all the baby faces winning, majority of the baby faces, very colorful, and All Out was pretty dark and grimy, and pretty much like heels win, right? Bad shit's happening. No, not all heels win, but like just wild shit's happening, bad shit's happening, right?
I heard some veteran wrestlers being like, why go to this extreme to a degree and take off some time off of their ability to perform because they did such dangerous moves. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, we'll some of these. That. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no, I feel like that was, I feel like they want to drag that out a little bit more. Like probably do a New York pay-per-view whenever they go to New York to have Danny and MJF go back at it. They're both New York boys. That was kind of like when MJF was still kind of like a face when he returned before the whole US title thing. He kind of befriended Danny Garcia because they're both from New York. So I feel like that is the most plausible route. I don't know when the next New York pay-per-view is, but like that would make sense to me, right? Like that would be the place to have it. Like I know they're in like Tacoma. They're in Tacoma for Wrestle Dream, and then Newark, New Jersey in Full Gear, which is November, then Orlando, World's End. So I don't know. Like I don't know when you do it. Like
maybe Newark, since it's not that far from New York.
Yeah, but I feel like MJF fucking hates Jersey. You know what I mean?
That's the point.
Maybe. And possibly, and that's November. So maybe that would be a good enough time to like drag this out and, maybe do some other feuds for them and then have it culminate at that again. Maybe MJF gets a title shot at some point in time, and then, Danny Garcia fucks him over. Like we'll see what happens with it. But, I'm not mad at the finish. It was still a good match. Still made Danny look great. And it was kind of like the opener, which is just, in my opinion, is just as cool as main eventing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like either you want to open the show or main event the show. So that was still some great shine for our boy Danny.
All right. That's what was, I think when we were doing our picks, our biggest concern, stop fucking around with Daniel Garcia. So good showing on Daniel Garcia's part then.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next match, AEW World Tag Team Championship match. We had the Young Bucks staying champions defeating Blackpool Combat Club. and we were both kind of blah on this one. We don't care.
Yeah,
what were your
basically.
thoughts, Sean?
I didn't care either. It was such a throne. I mean, they're trios champions, Claudio and fucking Wheeler already. So I don't know. It made zero fucking sense, in
Nope.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Also as to what comes later in the night, it also really didn't make sense. So it was just a bunch of shit that didn't make fucking sense, right? Like their storylines are clashing, and they're not making logical sense. And we'll talk more about that once we get to one of the title matches later down the line. But yeah, I didn't give a shit. It wasn't even like a spot fest like you would get when the Bucks went against like the Lucha Bros. Like it was just kind of like a slow, methodical match. And that's not, I don't even like the Young Bucks like that. But like if I watch Young Bucks, I expect a fucking spot fest.
True.
Yep. All right. AEW International Championship. Will Ospreay, remaining champion, defeating Pac. There was no way. We both, there's no way they're going to take the title off Ospreay.
No, absolutely not. And that was just a fucking great match.
But it was a good match. Pac showed out.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That was such a good fucking match. Like those two, like that's so much chemistry right there, man. And, that, like, I'm glad they didn't make that like just a Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that like that was a pay-per-view match.
Right.
And I'm glad it went that far. And I'm glad they had a little bit. They had like a 2-week build up, but that's another critique. Like you had like 2 pay-per-views literally back to back, like 14 days after, and then you're trying to scramble because yet again, we talked about this before where All In's kind of like their WrestleMania, and storylines culminate at your biggest show. So then in 2 weeks, now you have to create all these storylines and create all the shit. Or you could have been doing long-term stories, which they just don't do. So they had to scramble for 2 weeks. I mean, they did a pretty decent job of building it up for 2 weeks. And that's when Ricochet kind of entered and helped them out. But then all of a sudden it was just really weird. But yeah, the match was bar none, like probably the match of the night.
Oh, okay. So I definitely got to check that one out. All right. I don't understand why they have All In on All Out so close together with All In being like their WrestleMania. It's too much all together. It's crazy. Let's head over. This match I've been seeing on the Twitters and the socials, probably one of the best women's matches we've had, especially the fact that they've been running it back so much that we've gotten tired, but this was the penultimate one of the matches. The Chicago Street Fight with Statlander defeating Willow Nightingale by submission. Thoughts, gentlemen, on this one?
I was surprised at that outcome, but I think Statlander needed the win more than Willow.
Yeah, I would agree. It was a great match. The light tube surprised me. I don't know where the fuck that light tube came from.
Exactly.
I was like, wow! Like I saw her get the things, like dump out the fucking trash can. I was just like, well, if it fell out the trash can, it'd break. So where the fuck was that the whole time? But that was pretty cool to see. There was a really cool pounce that Willow did that broke, the barricade that threw, Statlander through. Like it was a completely physical match. And there was a lot of spots where I was like, ooh, fuck, like that. There are some near misses. It seemed like it was a little.
You think a little too dangerous for the ladies?
I don't think so. It just keeps you on the edge of your seat. Like I'm pretty sure these people are professional as can be, and they run their spots. And like they get to record their spots and rewatch them and see what looks the best. Like obviously trying to be as safe as possible, but also like what can we do to like really sell that makes this look dangerous? I mean, that's the whole point of wrestling. It is to try to like make you believe that this shit is real. So it's like, let's have faith that they're professionals. Not just because they're women and they shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. Fuck that.
Oh yeah, fuck that. Let them go all out.
Yeah, like there are professionals, trained professionals have been doing it for damn near a decade, if not more already. Like, let them go all out. Literally what the pay-per-view is for, all out. This was a great match. I love this match. And yeah, I wanted, obviously.
But are we done with the Statlander Willow thing now?
No, absolutely
No?
not. I think they gave this one the Statlander because Willow's kind of had the one up, and I think this kind of like settles it. I don't know when they end it or how they end it.
But you think they got to run it back again?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a steel cage match. That's the last thing. That's really what they did with Swerve and Hangman. And I think it's going to be a steel cage match, probably at World's End or some shit like that. And yeah, and I think Willow gets the final win, and then probably gets a title match against Mariah May or some shit, and move on to another title, because she already did her thing with Mercedes. But yeah, you could rekindle that, but at the same time, like, let her go for the main title that she hasn't gone for yet. Let her have the shot against Mariah May, into like 2025, and see what can happen. I mean, Mariah May is the heel, Willow's the fucking ultimate baby face. Like, fucking make it happen.
All right, let's head over. I want to see that one because of just everything with that. Let's head over to the 4-way match for the AEW Continental Championship. Webster Style, when we recorded our picks, didn't know who he was going to battle, but we didn't think he was going to lose it, and he didn't. Okada defeated Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Takeshita by pinfall. Thoughts on that match, guys?
Why do we keep being teased with Takeshita,
bro?
Like, they keep dangling that we knew he wasn't going to win versus Okada, but I really, really, like, he is really somebody they need to push to the fucking moon, like, straight up. He is so good. And why am I, as much as I love Briscoe, why am I seeing him on AEW? Why is he not being pumped up on RA since he's ROH champion? Why isn't he constantly over there? Why am I not seeing him on the RH updates every week about he defended the title against so-and-so and he beats? I don't need to see him on AEW. I need to see him on ROH. And the fact that I'm not seeing him there, I'm not hearing about that title being defended, that's a problem to me. But we knew Okada wasn't going to lose, so that's what it is.
Yeah. And that's how I feel. Like, we knew Okada was not going to lose.
They pay him too much money.
And
bitch,
sayonara, bitches. Yeah, no, this really sucks because that was so much talent in the ring, and I feel like this was a come down from the previous 2 matches. And I don't know why. There was definitely spots in it that made it look like they're going to tease, obviously, Takeshita versus Okada, and there's like the story of Takeshita, being compared to Okada when he first came in the scene in New Japan. So there is a story there. But at the same time, Okada is the heel with the Young Bucks, and then Takeshita is also a heel with the Don Callis family. So it's just like, how do you tell that story? And I feel like they've slowly been trying to make Don Callis a little bit more face-like. Like, they haven't completely turned on Will Ospreay yet since he left the family, and I think they're doing that because they kind of want the Don Callis, and same with Kyle Fletcher. They're kind of making them, not heels, but also not complete baby faces either, but they're just wrestlers, which is weird. Because they were dramatic heels, before the whole Will Ospreay stuff happened.
Right.
But I don't know where the shift came, and I don't know why. And maybe this is to kind of make them a little bit more face-like, but it's like Don Callis on the face side of things. Man, that's a hard sell. I don't think you'll ever get the crowd to cheer for Don Callis. But yeah, it was interesting. I was curious as to, I was shocked that they let Cassidy take the pin, because usually they want to protect that motherfucker. So I was
surprising.
Shocked. I was shocked at that Okada got the pin on Orange Cassidy. But also I feel like Orange Cassidy's been wearing like a lot of like darker colors. and things like that, and has been teasing. Like there's been the slow build of his like heel turn, like maybe come out in like all black denim. You know what I mean? Like he already wears the black tee now instead of the white tee.
Interesting.
So I'm just like, what does a heel Orange Cassidy look like? And maybe he goes to the Don Callis family, you know, and then he turns on the conglomeration or whatever.
Those segments are hilarious. I gotta say,
they are quite fun.
That's what's awesome about Briscoe, bro. He's wild.
He is entertaining. You know, but yeah. So I mean, it was okay, and I think it does set up Takeshita and Okada. I don't know how story, like how they're going to play the story. Obviously, there is a story there, but it's like how are they going to tell it?
All right, let's head over to the AEW TBS Championship.
Woo!
Our girl Mercedes Moné, Camille was banned from ringside, defeating Hikaru Shida. We knew she can call the shots. She got the money. You know.
This was
how do we feel about this one, man? Do we all feel, because we know that she has Tony's ear? She's kind of like no surprise now in a way.
It's not that
story wise in elements. What do you guys think?
It's rough. It was rough because it was a rough match. I don't know if you caught it, but literally half the match, Mercedes' wig almost came off. And every single bump, every single move, she was holding on to that motherfucker for dear life. And it just threw me out. It just threw me out. There's one time where that bitch came back and you saw her roots. Like, that bitch almost came off. And
it's going to be crazy when one time somebody pulls that wig. It's going to be hilarious.
Dude, it almost happened. And you could see Mercedes talking to the ref about it, being like, bitch, my wig is about to come off. Stop pulling my hair. And I feel like the ending was a little abrupt because of that. But also, it also hindered the chemistry and the flow a little bit because she was so worried. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, she was trying her best, but like you could see she was visibly like afraid her fucking wig was going to come off. And, I was always curious. I'm like, man, like how does that bitch stay on? Like, and get like people grabbing that shit and doing everything. And like, I don't know if maybe it just wasn't set right this time, or maybe Hikaru was a little too rough with it. I don't really know, but it kind of threw me off from the match because I was just like, oh my God, is this wig about to fall off? like she keeps grabbing.
That's gonna be the wildest thing if that ever happens in ring on an event.
That's gonna be hilarious.
I kind of
feel like all over the socials, man.
Yeah, I feel like they should kind of just make that a thing now, like, because everyone saw it. People were talking about it online too. I'm just like, they should just she should just make that a spot in a match.
Oh, I don't think she'd ever want to reveal her true.
I know.
Probably little to no hair, I would assume.
I know. But, do like a wig reveal. Do some drag shit, man. Like, make it entertaining. Like,
it'll be entertaining, all right.
But yeah, it threw me. Yeah. Like, it should have been a great match.
But it took away. It
took away from it. And I feel like it also took away from the action because, like, they were probably supposed to be a little bit more fast-paced. And I feel like they probably had to call it in their ring to slow it down a little bit because of the fucking wig.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. What are your thoughts, Web Style?
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy the match at all.
Yeah.
It I don't know, and it's the sad part with Mercedes. I feel like at least with her time with AEW, a lot of her matches either hit or miss. There's really been no in between.
Her match that we saw live was great.
Yeah.
With Momo, that was great, and that was literally like a week later. So I know she can wrestle. I know she has it to have good matches still. Like, she's still an amazing wrestler. It's just like I said. I think it, like, her wig was just not set right, and I think that completely hindered the match because Hikaru Shida is an amazing wrestler as well.
Yes, so I love me some Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, is their chemistry going to be good? And I think their chemistry could be good. I think that wig literally was the downfall.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of just go with it because it's to have that element mess up an entire event is nuts.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about certain things coming into play during a match or the aftermath of the match. Let's talk about Danielson defeating Jack Perry for that AEW World Championship, retaining, but shenanigans occurred and a bag came out and friendships are broken. Let's get into these thoughts, guys, as we get to these last two big matches and lives, years taken off of some of these wrestlers with these matches. Who wants this one?
Elton,
I'll
you go
start.
first?
Yeah, I'll start. It was needed for the
We knew we didn't want the scapegoat to win. We called it for
we knew he would win, but the turn on Bryan Danielson, it was needed to reinvigorate the BCC. It was needed because we'd spoken before, the three of us, like, what are they doing? It kind of just there, like the umph that they had in the beginning was gone. And this is something they needed. And now is Pac officially a part of the group? I believe, if I remember correctly, Wheeler Yuta had to hold him back, so he wasn't really down what they were doing. So
Pac held Wheeler Yuta back.
Yeah. And then the whole angle that was going on with Moxley and Marina Shafir, there's a lot there that we didn't know what was going to happen. Now we do. I am looking forward to see what happens with their story. So, yeah, and from a storyline standpoint, it was needed. I'm glad they did it. And also, we know Daniel's not going to be there that much longer.
Yeah. Yeah. To expand on that a little bit, let's talk about the match.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a good match, but the tone that they were setting was obviously they're trying to make Jack Perry look great. I mean, I don't know what they see in this guy. I really don't. It's literally just a big fuck you to CM Punk at this point.
Yeah.
And he's friends with the Bucks.
Yeah, he's friends with the Bucks, and he's a nepo baby. But I don't see it, man. I do not see it whatsoever. I'm sorry. Even when he was just Jungle Boy before all the shit, like I didn't see it as a singles competitor. Like even when he was going against Hook, I was just like, I don't see it, and I don't get it. Like literally, like when he turned heel and he did the fucking, I'm hot in the bed, like the hottest bitch in this place. I'm like, bro, what? And now you're trying to take this kid and make him like this shiny, like this badass, like he didn't care if he got burned. He was like, do it. And then like, at the end of this match, he was just like, he fully embraced like a Busaiku knee, that finished him off. Like he's some badass or something like that. I'm just like, bro, you got choked out. Shut up. And I don't know, man. Like, so I feel like this was more or less trying to make Jack Perry look good, not about Bryan.
At the expense of Bryan.
Yeah, at the expense of Bryan.
Yeah, I don't know why he was in that match, Perry. That there really was no reason. Because didn't Christian win the Battle Royal? So why wasn't that Christian versus Bryan Danielson?
He won the contract. It's like the Money in the Bank contract, and that's why he came out at the end of that match. Because you remember, Killswitch came out and kind of like had the face to face with Jack, and then kind of laid out Bryan. And then that's when that's when Christian Cage came down with the fucking clipboard because as a contract, because he was going to cash it in to beat Bryan for the title. And then that's when Moxley came out in the white tee. And that's when Claudio came out. And that's when Pat came out. And that's when Yuta came out. And that's when Christian Cage and Killswitch and Nick Wayne retreated. And like people were just like, yeah. They came and saved Bryan, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, man, I was just like, Claudio wearing the white tee like Moxley makes me feel like something's about to happen. And Boggy was just like, no, nothing's going to happen. I was like, well, he has not mentioned BCC for the past like 2 or 3 weeks since he's come back and been this, new John Moxley with this new intro music. So now he's acknowledging them because he came out and protected them. And then like right when that motherfucker started stepping in the ring, I was like, here it comes. Here it comes. Boom. And I was like, oh shit. And then bringing out that was, like I said, man, like All Out was a fucking horror movie.
I don't like the
Like,
bag. I don't like the optics on the bag, man. I know I'm getting older and I got a kid, but I just don't like the look of it.
Yeah. It's the shock value,
And
man.
I used to love that stuff, with Mankind, Mick Foley, chairs, ladders, spikes, East, extreme shit. But I just didn't like the bag optics, bro.
Yeah. Like I said, I AEW is, at the end of the day, edgelord content.
Ooh.
And that is what they cater to. That is who they cater to. And that's what they were trying to aim for. Like I said before, All In was like, PG and Pixar, and, heels win, happy, stories ending, great. We did amazing, bright colors. All Out was literally a black and white horror movie. MJF is wearing the mute colors now and not the bright USA colors. Like, everyone's getting attacked. Bags came out. The ending match being a lights out match. Like, it was a horror movie. And I think they structured it that way. So that, I'll give it to them. Like, I think that was on purpose. Like, and the way that, the TNT belt looks now, all muted and black, like, I think there are specific things that they were doing to make this very horror movie-esque. And that explains the bag. That explains the heel turns. That explains the last match and what happened at the end there. Like, and obviously, like, Hangman used to be the babyface, and now, so it's like very horror movie-esque. I feel like if they didn't do it on purpose, it was a lovely coincidence, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the bag, like I said, edgelord shit. I was just like, bro, like, but yet again, professionals, they're keeping it safe. They probably ran this through and had like a little slip, for him to breathe air or whatever. Same with movies. Like, we watch shit like this all the time, and like fake fighting and like fake, torture scenes. Like, these people are professionals, and I think it got it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this was a heel turn.
People
fucking hated that, especially during his retirement match. But also, this sets up Moxley versus fucking Bryan Danielson,
and that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be amazing. So yeah, I'm with it. It was just like, I just don't want kids copying shit. And I know I feel like an old man who, who's trying to take that shit away from me when I was enjoying this stuff. So I know these kids are loving it, but it's like, I understand how to, in a way. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I do hope that this, I hope Wheeler still sides, like, and that's what's going to be interesting, is like Wheeler is in the trios champs with Pac and Claudio, and Pac was holding him back from saving Bryan. So it's just like, is he going to purposely like give up the belt so he can be with Bryan, and then maybe Bryan also brings in Danny Garcia back? Because remember, him and Danny Garcia had this really good, like, hey, you're a wrestler, like, you're talented, you're not just a sports entertainer, like with Chris Jericho, you are a wrestler. So maybe he has like a new little faction with a bunch of like the young
wow, that would be cool. Like, real wrestlers, Wheeler, Daniel, and Bryan.
So I hope that happens, and we'll see if the other group keeps the BCC name. And I don't know. I feel like they have a new, I still want the Shane McMahon thing. I want them to come out and be like, I paid all these guys. Like, these are all the WWE guys. Like, I know them. Like, come over here. Like, Pac was WWE, Neville, like Claudio, like Cesaro, like John Moxley, Dean Ambrose. Like, come over here, guys.
I think I saw on the because that's the rumor that they also Tony, just bought a name or Aftershock or something to use for something.
Yeah.
There's rumor
Shockwave,
Shockwave or something, like where it's gonna go from here. So it's gonna be interesting where they go and what they do with that Shockwave, because I think some more big things are gonna pop off. Let's close it out, gentlemen, with the lights out steel cage match, as you had mentioned, Sean. Hangman finally defeating Swerve in that knockout steel cage match. And pulling out some needles. I didn't like that either. Unnecessary.
That was crazy.
Let's go. What do you guys think about that? Close us out.
That was absolutely crazy. The needles thing, really?
No, sir. I would not have that. I would not say yes to that.
No. You
didn't. So y'all didn't like it?
It was brutal. as it should have been, but um, I guess in many respects is what we expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like, we knew it was going to be a grueling match. I mean, looked at what made this whole feud famous, right? With the barbed wire, the blood, drinking of the blood, all that shit, you know. Um, so we knew, and like, like Swerve coming out and like having the printout of like literally like Hangman's LP album drop, of him sitting in the fire, sitting next to the fire, like that was good. Like the bringing out of like the burnt piece of wood from the house, trying to stab Swerve with it. I thought one of the craziest spots was the fucking power bomb onto the cinder block that didn't fucking break.
Mm.
I was just like, bro, like I thought that was worse than the fucking needle. Stab me with a needle all day. Power bomb me on a fucking cinder block.
Yeah, that was man, that was something else right there, boy.
That's time for a shoot. I'm punching you in the face. Like
Yeah.
that bitch didn't break either. So that shit. Like, man, they fucked each other up. That was a great match. That was an amazing match. And yet again, edgelord content, right? Like taking a lot of content from death matches, like some of the indie death matches that not a lot of people see, where light tubes are very prevalent. And those hypodermic needles are very prevalent. Almost every death match I go to, I see needles. And so for me, I was just like, oh, it's just one needle. Like I've seen some crazy shit. So for me, it was a little underwhelming just to have one needle go through your cheek. I mean, Steve-O used to do that shit. Steve-O used to put a fishing hook through his cheek and then jump in the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
That was like 20 years ago. So it's just like, I've seen this shit.
And there's a reason I didn't watch Jackass.
That's the reason you did or didn't?
I said there is a reason I didn't watch Jackass.
Hey, he's sober and clean now, okay?
Which is so crazy, but
he still does dumb shit.
Him. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Hangman had a win. Like this was his only win. And that way they can continue this fucking feud, this crazy fucking feud. And I think this also kind of, the chair shot also was crazy because like the camera did a good job of kind of like, you saw it coming, like the chair coming down, and then it was like a wide pan of the whole thing, and then you heard it. So like,
that really sound, bro.
Shot. Yeah. So you don't see the actual chair shot to the head, but that is a good way to obviously write Swerve off, and then possibly bring them back when they come back to fucking Washington State. Maybe Hangman gets the match against someone, for a title, and then Swerve comes back and screws him over and starts the feud up again. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do. I mean, there's a bunch of things like, does Hangman feel like he is avenged at this point? Does he still have a chip on his shoulder against Swerve? You know what I mean? Like, what's the story going to be? So I'm curious to see where they go with it and how they manipulate that. But also at the same time, I'm curious about a lot of storylines. Like even with the Young Bucks, like I said, like kind of, I don't know if you watched Dynamite last week, but Jon Moxley kind of like was chummy with them.
Yeah, I saw that.
And chummy with Jack Perry, and then also kind of, stop Christian Cage and them from cashing in, which Young Bucks kind of have been feuding or talking shit with Christian Cage, who are both heels. So it's curious to see, like, are they going to team up with the Elite? And what's that mean? Like, does Kenny come back at some point? Like, I can't wait for Kenny to come back. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they can do. There's a lot of possibility. So, but yeah, this was a true horror movie.
Are good events? Do you think they, on the heels of All In, now All Out, and where we're gonna take AEW going forward?
I think it was exciting. And I feel like with a little amount of time, because we're really skeptical, like you only had 2 weeks to build this, and I think they had. I think they generated interest, and I think they did what they wanted to do. And, there's a bunch of cool stories happening now. but it's their follow through that matters.
Yes.
If they started these stories and they do nothing with it, shame on them.
All right. Any last words for you, Webster Style, on what would happen in All Out, and any other predictions, guys? Because I think as of this recording, tonight's NXT, their new relaunch, with a new season on what network are they on now?
Well, no, they're still on CW. They're still on UPN. They don't move to CW until not UPN. They're still on USA. They don't move to CW until October. Everything shifts October. Like that first week in October, they go to CW. That's when we start getting 2-hour Raws. But I know SmackDown starts this week on USA. So they're good for now. They don't make that shift, whatever. But speaking of NXT, I think that mystery person. I'm about 60% on Moose as we were watching, talking. I was scrolling through and he's talking about how it couldn't be him. So, anytime I saw something like that, I'm thinking, oh, it's probably him. So I'm about 6% sure that it's going to be him tonight showing up.
Okay.
Moose.
Any other last things you got, Sean? SmackDown, Raw, anything? Close this out.
Collision. I don't know if you guys talked about the Odyssey Jones shit, which was
no, we haven't.
Interesting. But yeah, there was domestic violence accusations. That's why he was pulled off.
Oh yeah, because they were doing the whole build up on him.
They were, and then they just randomly cut it out. Now Kofi and Xavier Woods are like buddy again, like nothing ever happened. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Whatever it is, it must have been really serious if they just outright fired him on accusations.
Yeah, I mean they've done it before, man. Like they've done it with a lot of people. They do it to some people and they don't do it to some. Like I think what they did to Enzo Amore. They did it to old boy who's in the indie scene now. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But yeah, they've done it before. So I'm not shocked about it. But yeah, I was curious if you guys had talked about that because that was an interesting story. That was an interesting thing going on. I was like, damn, like fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I was curious to see like where that was gonna go. But he ended up being a piece of shit apparently. So
unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
ready.
Let's go enjoy the summer like these two gentlemen. Shout out to Ricochet and Buddy Murphy.
Bruh.
Get you a good one. All right, y'all. What do you got going on with the 8-Bit Review, Sean? Let's get up out of here.
Hey, yeah. So September 21st, we got 8-Bit Review, which is our video game themed Nerdlets show over at DC Brow. So hit up the ticket link. The QR code's right there. You probably can't scan it, but if you just look up 8-Bit Review on Eventbrite, you'll definitely find it. Or if you go to the Nerdlesque Fest on IG and Twitter, you'll definitely find it.
All right. And Webster Style, what you got going on with Sartorial and Geek?
Let's see. My interview with author Indy Jones drops tomorrow at the time of this recording, and I forget what's coming up on Friday, but it's a lot of stuff coming up that's locked and loaded. My vlogs from NJPW and NWA are up, and they're doing good numbers. And then I recorded interviews last night. I got interviews that I'm recording tomorrow night. So there's a lot of stuff coming.
Bruh, I feel that energy. There you go, y'all. Man, you're on NRW. You're going to see it all. That's why I'm so tired. I'm trying to give my boys all the energy that I can, but it's always a pleasure for the three of us to get together. Again, happy birthday to you, Sean, man. We're happy you're celebrating another one, man. Great to have you back. Webster Style, man, killing it as always. Guys, we'll be back next week talking more wrestling. We'll see what's up with the news, and hopefully we'll be more energized. But we putting in that work, y'all. So let's get down. Let's get pinned to the mat. Let us go to bed now. We're getting up out of here in a 1, 2, 3. Peace, y'all. All right,
You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you. Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna eat your ass like a pot of collard greens, baby.
I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.
You can hide behind that commissioner stuff just so long until I jerk a knot in your ass.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be to do the job on you.
All right, just jerk Helmsley off.
There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning.
I'm gonna come on you like nobody's ever come on you before. Just you and I getting it on like two men should do.
That fits right.
Corey boy, and I'm coming hard.